the power of love.
Hello everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I am Jayson.
Welcome back. Jayson and I are going to do a really odd segment, a thing that I never thought I would make a video on, but we were kicking around ideas for guitar pick and trying to decide what we wanted to talk about, and it occurred to me that it might be interesting for some folks anyway, if we broke down the jammer tape that my mom gave me when I was 6, which I talked about on the Guardians of the Galaxy superhero rewind. Like I said, really kind of strange, odd thing to talk about, but got a lot of comments about that story in the rewind. People seemed kind of interested in that and thought that the story was cool and kind of heartfelt, and I was really happy to share it. So this is Jay's jammer. So this is going to be weird because this is going to be less of a review, obviously. Yeah, let's do a full-blown critical review and analysis of a mixtape that my mother gave me when I was 6. No, we're pretty much just going to tell you about this, and I have left a link in the description on Spotify. So if you have Spotify, and even if you don't pay for Spotify regularly, you can listen to this with commercials, and you can go see the tracks that we're going to be talking about today. But anyway, so when I was 6, this was 1990, my mom gave me this mixtape, which ended up being a really informative thing for me, and some of my kind of earliest memories, I mean, obviously I have memories from before this, but some of my earliest, like, really vivid memories are associated with this tape and the music that my mom grew me up on. And as I mentioned in that rewind, for the longest time, I couldn't find it. I thought it was lost. I didn't think we would ever see it again, and it was a really big deal when we finally discovered it again, and the tape's coming out a little bit. And so, and like I said, it came out, or we found it rather, just a few months before Guardians of the Galaxy came out, and that movie was, it kind of touched me more because of the mixtape motif in that movie, and I had kind of the same thing with my mom to some degree that Peter Quill had with his. So I talked about that in the rewind. If you're wondering why this is called Jay's Jammer and not Logan's Jammer or something like that, my actual real first name is James. A lot of people know this by now. It's James spelled with a Y. And growing up, I was called Jay, and some of my friends and family still call me that. But these days, it's more Cap and Logan, but James, more Cap and James, really. But my wife calls me Jay. A few people still call me Jay. So anyway, so we'll talk a little bit about this and talk about this kind of informative music from when I was a kid. Mom made me a few more of these as I was growing up, and more of them were arena rock. There is, curiously, no arena rock on this tape, Jayson. It is mostly 80s pop stuff and a lot of the stuff that was on the radio right then. I will say, a lot of this music is not the kind of stuff I actually go back to and listen to a lot now, except for this tape because of the nostalgia factor. But it's kind of an interesting eclectic mix, assortment of music. A lot of it is like I said, 80s pop. Some of it isn't. We'll go down some of the track list and talk about it a little bit. So Jayson, I wanted to have you here because you've been listening to this quite a bit, and you actually put all of this on Spotify for me.
Yes, I sure did. Not all of it. There's a couple of tracks that are not on Spotify.
Do you remember what they were?
Well, one of them was, I Love Rock and Roll.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know why.
Yeah, it's weird that that's not there. Sure.
I forget the other ones, though.
Okay. Yeah. So, when we found this tape, I started playing it in a tape deck for Jayson, and he liked it a lot, and it's kind of a surreal experience for me because we found it when Jayson was a little younger than 6, and so he was listening to this at about the same time as I was when I was a kid. But let's go ahead and talk a little bit about what's on it. So, Mom put things that were associated with properties that I was really into at the time, and then a bunch of things that she was really into right then. So, she opened it with Bat Dance, with Prince's Bat Dance from the 1989 Batman movie, which she was not real keen on me seeing. She thought it was a little bit too dark and violent, and didn't love that my dad let me see that movie that early, but I guess she kind of caved to it a little bit and was like, okay, fine, I guess we're doing this Batman thing. So she, so I had the Prince record, I had the CD, and she, might have even had that on cassette, I forget now, and, but she put Bat Dance at the beginning of this. Now, the version of Bat Dance on Spotify is the longer version. I had the radio edit before that, but, they don't, have both versions on Spotify.
And what's funny is they only have the radio edit for Smooth Criminal.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Jason's really into Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
So, and then after that, she put in Turtle Power, because of course I was huge into Ninja Turtles, like most kids my age at that time. And Jason loves that rap. He listens to it constantly. That was that song in the credits of that movie. And then she put in, like I said, a lot of the big 80s hits. And this stuff coming out right around that time. So, Baby Don't Forget My Number is in here. Fame is in here. Real Wild Child is here, which I didn't hear a great deal on the radio after this. Don't Worry, Be Happy remains one of my favorite songs of all time. I really like Bobby McFerrin a lot. Yep. And that's, obviously the, his one big radio hit. If you've never gone in and looked at, Bobby McFerrin's other stuff, take a look, because he's fascinating.
Yeah, he is.
Kokomo is in here, Walk Like an Egyptian, and obviously Kokomo is an older song. That's a Beach Boys song. Mom was a big Billy Joel fan. She's got, I think, a couple of Billy Joel songs. No, I guess it's just, the one. She's got, Still Rock and Roll to Me on here, yeah. Wild Wild West was a song that I think the whole universe forgot. That seemed really big for like 5 minutes. There is a parody that was on Dr. Demento called Adam West, based on Wild Wild West. Have I played you that? Yeah, no. I'll have to do that at some point.
Okay.
That's how I discovered Wally Wingert. That was, he did kind of a made-up band for that called Wally Wingert and the Cape Club, and Wally Wingert, I've actually interviewed on the channel years ago now, but he was the announcer for The Tonight Show for a long time, and he played Riddler. He's played Riddler twice now, in the Arkham games, and he did a Frank Gorshin impression for the 2 Adam West animated Batman movies. That's Wally Wingert.
Oh, cool.
And he was really good friends with Adam West, and he had Frank Gorshin to his house a few times, and yeah, he's really fun, cool character. But anyway, so that song's kind of close to me because of that whole thing. And then Ghostbusters is on here because we were all Ghostbusters fans. Yeah, Lean on Me is in there. But anyway, I kind of just wanted to mention this rather than really full on review it. This will be kind of a shorter video, but just to I put a link in the description in case anybody wants to listen to the tape that I kind of started to form my musical taste when I was 6 years old. What is your favorite song, Jason, on this list? Because I know you listen to this all the time.
I actually think it is Turtle Power.
Is it Turtle Power?
Yeah. Or, I don't know.
Partners in Crime. And he notoriously calls Raphael the leader.
Really?
Raphael's the leader of the group.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. Yeah, it kind of reads like he did the whole thing based on a plot synopsis.
Yeah.
Sort of like when Weird Al wrote Saga Begins.
Yeah.
Except he got really, really close, and it did not seem like he just read a plot synopsis. But that's what he did. But yeah, what's another song that you like a lot on there?
Vogue.
When I was a kid, I was really partial to Vogue. I know that's really silly, Madonna, but that was my mom played that kind of stuff all the time, constantly. And I think Vogue was always my favorite Madonna song. Yeah, I don't know. I go to a different place when I go back and listen to this music. And like I said, a lot of this is not the kind of stuff I usually go to. And what my mom and I were listening to after this was quite different. If I played you the next tape after this, which I should dig out because I've got that too, there's a lot of Styx and REO Speedwagon and stuff like that on it.
Cool.
So I say this informed my musical taste. I guess I got away from a lot of it, but I think it was kind of the first thing that got me interested in just popular music in the first place, and it was kind of the sound of my childhood and my relationship with my mom. Anything else you want to mention about it?
No.
I kind of just wanted to throw out a few track names and talk about it for a second.
Yeah.
Don't forget My Number, I think, was a song that an old babysitter of ours played all the time.
Oh yeah, that's Milli Vanilli.
Milli Vanilli. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yep.
That's the whole story with a live thing.
Yep. Where they were lip-syncing their music and nobody knew it. And they kind of got drummed out of the music business because of it. Yep.
Why? Why did they get fired from the music business if...
Because it was dishonest. They were pretending like they were playing their own music, and it was just completely recorded.
Mm-hmm. I thought it was just...
Which is really funny, because a lot of people were doing that later, but there wasn't any pretense is the difference.
Yeah. I thought that they were just kicked out of, like, doing live stuff.
Well, they just weren't popular after that.
Mm-mm.
Anyway, so that is going to be it for the guitar pick today. If you want to go check out these songs that I was listening to when I was a kid, just click the link in the description. And in the meantime, we're going to move on now to our next segment. So keep it rolling, will ya, if you're watching this in the playlist. And otherwise, thanks a bunch for clicking on this video. I am Captain Logan.
And I am Jayson.